Folks, welcome back to Flatirons Tuning. We are here in the shop. We're going to talk transmissions. Yeah, that's right. This is an 8 HP transmission. We're going to take a look at it. Before we do, just want to say, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the hype button if you see it. It helps us out a ton. All right, why do we have an 8 HP transmission here? Why wouldn't we have an 8 HP transmission here? This transmission is like the talk of everything in the aftermarket tuning community of these days, it seems. Well, and there might have been a car parked out in the front that had an 8 HP that we maybe borrowed. I can't speak to that, but all I know is that the transmission is here, and this is the venerable STI 6-speed. If you look at the two of them, you can see that this is like, it looks like this transmission is 2 times the size and weight of this transmission, and if you lift it up, it feels about that way. Now, what's interesting about this one is this is one of the all-wheel drive 8 HP transmissions. So I wanted to take a look at this for this first installment of our 8 HP deep dive here. Is because we made a video a little bit ago talking about the new all-wheel drive BRZ that's using the SEDEV drivetrain, where they basically use a transfer case and prop shaft to send power up to a front differential. And we're speculating, well, what if Subaru would make a transmission or a drivetrain that would use something like that? How possible would that be? Well, it turns out this is kind of doing that already. Now, is this optimal to be put into a Subaru right now? Probably not exactly, but it shows what's possible. And so that's where I wanted to take a look at this 8 HP transmission and kind of how it's laid out. Because this could really be a guide for what might even be possible for Subaru to do if they wanted to use this front mid-engine layout and send power to the front. So what we have here, this is where the engine would bolt to the transmission, to the bell housing. Power comes down through here. There's a transfer case at the tail section of this transmission. And this aluminum housing, this is basically covering the forward-facing prop shaft, and the front differential in this thing is actually right here. Believe me, this is incredibly wide compared to an STI transmission, but it's because we got the front differential off to the side. And then there's a shaft that connects both sides to it. It's an open differential. This is what would be certainly possible for Subaru to do at least some version of. Now, here still, the axle is behind the bell housing because, again, the bell housing would connect here. Believe it or not, we found an 8 HP transmission that's used in more like Jeeps and that sort of thing that has a bigger transfer case and a forward-facing prop shaft basically to go to something like a solid axle or something like that. So there's even another configuration of an 8 HP that has that kind of a layout that could work in a much smaller chassis. And this thing is overbuilt because it was designed to go in a vehicle that was much bigger and heavier than what Subarus currently are. This definitely shows what's possible. When we talked about the SEDEV drivetrain, it kind of seemed like, well, that is like the definition of a moonshot and completely crazy. Well, it turns out like there's already a readily used and readily available option that is really in the ballpark of what that SEDEV transmission and drivetrain is. And this is a production transmission. This is used in like Audis and Jeeps and all sorts of different cars and trucks. So this is readily available. It exists right now, and it has a configuration that is like just a stone's throw from what it would take to put this into a Subaru. This video is brought to you by Everything You Need to Know. If you've been following us for any amount of time, you know that we've made a ton of videos. We've got a ton of content out there with a lot of good information for you about anything you might be doing with your Subaru. What we've done is we wanted to make it easier for you to find all of this information on a certain topic. And so if you put in everything into the search bar on the FlatironsTuning.com website, you're going to find these pages, like everything you need to know about 6-speed swaps, everything you need to know about suspension, brakes, timing belt kits. You name it, it's there, and all of our information, all the videos we've made, it's all collected together in one spot so you can really do a deep dive on these topics. It makes it easy for you. We don't have everything you need to know yet. We're going to keep building more, don't worry. But you don't have to wait. Go to our Knowledge Hub. This is our blog collection of all of the content that we've ever put out. There's blogs, there's videos, you name it. And you can click on the Knowledge Hub and then use that search bar to search for any kind of topic like picking a turbo or what is knock or anything that you might have on your mind. And that will bring you to the blog posts and the videos and stuff that we've done about that specific topic. So we're trying to make all of this information as easy to find, as searchable as possible for you. So we've got it under everything on the search bar of the main website. And then you click into the Knowledge Hub, check out all those blogs, see all the information that we've got out there. Literally, it's hundreds of articles. So there should be something there covering what you need to know. But if not, let us know. Drop a message, send us an email, and we'll always do our best to come back and address any topics that you want. We're doing our best to make this information as easy to find and easy to use as possible so you can get your car built and running the way that you need it to, done right the first time. Thanks so much for your support, and now back to the video. The key thing here is the width. That is the biggest deciding factor as far as how you would get this into a Subaru. And where, potentially Subaru could have some benefits in taking the front differential off of the side of the bell housing of the transmission, just having the prop shaft come forward, maybe more centrally located, or even a little bit off center, but then having the front differential in front of the transmission instead of basically right at the bell housing level. But again, I mean, this is closer to what we were looking for, and it's something that's it's out there and it's readily available. It's an automatic. It's got 8 speeds. It's got the dual or the planetary gears in it, so it shifts really quickly. This could be something like this could be put into a Subaru, I think, with pretty minimal effort. Subaru, if you're watching, and then this could maybe give us some of this behavior that we really, really want. Not only the durability that these transmissions or these type of transmissions are known for, but that quick paddle shifting behavior. The SJ 6-speed is great for what it is. It's a fantastic transmission, and we really love the Subaru all-wheel drive drivetrain and the behaviors in it. But could we get some benefits in switching the configuration to something like this, where we have the front differential further forward, the engine is further back, we get more even weight distribution, more centrally located mass in the car? I think it's a really interesting idea. And it is not as much of a moonshot when you start looking at this transmission compared to what the SI transmission is. Of course, there's the obvious question. Can you figure out a way to connect this transmission to a Subaru bell housing? That is a great question. There's some oddities around that, and we're going to look at that. But you're going to have to stay tuned for that for the future. We've been playing around with it a little bit. Let us know what you think in the comments. If Subaru had a paddle shifting 8-speed automatic transmission that was still all-wheel drive, something like this in it, not just in, like, say, a WRX, but like in the Ascent, in the Outback, heck, in any or all of the cars, is this interesting? Is this exciting? To me, this is a lot more exciting than a CVT. But maybe you think different. Let me know what you think. The other kicker is for the bigger cars, like an Ascent and the Outback Wilderness and stuff like that, and a big transfer case like this opens up a whole nother possibility, which is a high and a low transfer case. Imagine what an Outback Wilderness would be like if we had a high-low transfer case. So you could, if the car was bigger on bigger tires, you could actually put it into a low range with this, so you still have automatic behavior, automatic control with paddle shifts. Carter behind the camera is like, he's so excited right now. He's like, oh, give it to me. I think this is something that Subaru has been missing the boat on for a long, long time, like that high-low transfer case in some of these bigger cars. You guys are going out and wheeling these cars, going off-road, doing overlanding stuff with them. If you had a proper high-low gearbox, it'd only do that better. If we had an automatic with proper high-low gearbox, man, is that what the Ascent and the Outback Wilderness has been missing all this time? Let me know what you think in the comments. So that's all we're going to get to for this go round. It's just this initial look. Check these things out. It's really interesting. Let's see what we find out. So thanks so much for your support as always. Until next time, stay tuned with Flatirons Tuning.